I've been making announcements all week, but I'll just repeat it. Tomorrow, I won't be having a meditation class. Uh, as I explained earlier this week, I have to do an eye procedure about every 2 months, and tomorrow's the day. And when they do this, it's impossible for me to do meditation. It takes almost a day just for my eye to recover. So there'll be no class tomorrow. There will be a class on Wednesday and Thursday. And then the following Sunday, next Sunday, I'm going to take some days off. I told you about 3 or 4 days. Need a vacation. I'm really tired. It's been quite a year. I don't know what you all have been through this year, but my God, it's been something amazing. I mean, even this afternoon, I mean, there was like a miracle took place. One of my students' sons is in the Israeli army and is driving with a bunch of soldiers near Lebanon, and his car was just blown up. And some miracle of God, this young man lived. He just lived. And his mother and father have been students of mine for a really long time. So he was standing behind his mother just to thank me for, what his parents have learned in coming to these meditation classes. Pretty extraordinary. The kid is a living miracle. Does anyone have a question?
Stuart, I have a question, Bob Sink.
This one?
Of late, I've been having some guilt from childhood coming up to work with.
So what do you think the answer is? Bob, it's inside you and it's coming up, and now you can get rid of it. It's been plaguing you all your life, secretly inside you, living inside you, and now it's come to the surface. So you can use the meditation exercise to just flush it out of your system. It'll make you less tight, thinking less and have less emotional conflict. And what you just told me, and that's for everybody else also, is not a negative thing, Bob. It's really not. It's an opportunity to get free of things that have been, emotionally imprisoning you since you were a child. So now it's up to you to just let go. It's also a good way to see how nothing in life is positive or negative. It just depends on how you use it. There isn't anything that manifests in a human being's life that can't help them to grow. I don't care how negative you perceive it to be. It comes as an opportunity for you to grow, to become more of a human being, get free of things embedded inside you, as you said, since you're a child. And Bob, you're not the only one. Every one of us has stuff like that, comes up in me. I mean, things that happened to me when I was 7 years old. I mean, suddenly, and today I just laugh. I say, "Good, no, go, go away. I don't need you plaguing me anymore." Does anyone else have a question?
I have one, Stuart. It's Lynn.
Yes,
Very recently, a friend of mine took his life. And I was just wondering, when somebody chooses to do that, is it just simply a death and they come back, or is there anything else that happens when somebody chooses to not live in this world anymore that way?
and she's still alive?
No,
Oh,
no,
she passed on.
he passed on. He actually jumped off the top of the building.
Wow, well, God bless her, let her rest in peace, huh?
Yeah,
I mean, a person to do that has to be so wrapped with problems, so deep. Let her rest in peace. And as the soul evolves and comes back, she'll have an opportunity to work it all out.
yeah,
So, I mean, suicide is not the answer. It's not the answer to anything. But you've got to come back and then work it out. Much better to take whatever the problems are and learn how to transform them inside you into a spiritual life. That's hard work. Suicide is basically easy. Jump off a building, it's over. But, to really transform yourself, to go deep enough, it takes guts. It takes a desire to be with God. It takes a spiritual need. It takes something inside that says, no, I cannot live this way anymore. And I want to transform all of this and make it work for me to help me grow and have a spiritual life. So, what can one say? You just, God bless her and let her rest in peace. And when the soul comes back, there'll be another opportunity to work all that stuff out. Again, it's nothing negative in life. It's how you use it. All the negativity that makes one commit suicide. Understand, it can be used in the exact opposite way. It
yeah,
can give you an extraordinary life. I mean, I can only talk from my own experiences, honestly. When I was younger, I thought about suicide. I mean, I was, my condition was, I was pretty crippled young man, emotionally, mentally, and but I always came back to how can I use this to grow? How can I find somebody who can help me use this to get to God instead of, you know, jumping off a bridge or something. And eventually it took 9 years and I met Rudy. And then it all began to change. It took time. It didn't just change in a day and a half.
Hmm.
It took time. But I knew how to work with myself. And before that, I didn't know how to work with myself. So just bless your friend and find her in your heart, or him or her in your heart, and just, open inside you and let them go. And they'll evolve. They'll be back here doing it again.
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, I just like to end this session saying, look, it's the end of the year. I know every time at the end of the year, I get deeply tired. And I feel it right now. I suspect that many of you feel the same kind of thing. It's a whole cycle coming to an end. And 2023 was a really rough year. I mean, it was a very, very intense year. And I am so grateful that the year is coming to an end, and hopefully 2024, can build on everything that took place in this year. Between people being born and people dying and people almost dying. And I mean, it's just been one drama, people getting very sick and ill, and thank God having survived serious illnesses. So I think it's wonderful to go into the new year with gratitude that we have found a way to have a spiritual life. We have found a way to transform all of the things that could kill a person into a life-giving force. We have found a way to become more human and enter the year with gratitude for this, with gratitude, with love, with making a commitment to use this in a way which it serves God, it serves the human race. And not just to be complaining all the time about how terrible life is. It's easy. Turning it around is noble work. Does anyone else have a question you'd like to ask? Okay, then I will see everybody on Wednesday. If
Sorry.
somebody has a question,
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I've been feeling that tiredness and that end of the year stuff, and it meant a lot to me that you just shared your personal experience, and it really touched me. Thank you.
you're welcome, Christine. Thank you for being here. Your presence and everyone just drags all this stuff out of me. I think it's wonderful. I told you, you all are my teacher. You're my guru. You make me work very deep on myself. And I must say, as tired as I am now, this has been one of the most extraordinary years of growth I can remember in a long time. It's been amazing this year. And yet, people that I was very close to passed on this year. Shocking, but still at the same time, the amount of growth and the amount of inner work that took place, and teaching 7 of these classes a week here online. I mean, my God, So bless you all. Thank you. There'll be class on Wednesday and Thursday next week. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Thank you. God bless
Thank you. Good luck with your eye tomorrow.
you. Yeah,
Thank you, Stuart.
you're welcome.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Stuart.
Good night.
Good night.